And last but not the least, we're going to have a presentation, lightning presentation on blockchain and education. And from the UCC, let us welcome Mr. Isaac Ama Mensah.
Thank you very much. I want to talk about BCF Network. It's a network of educational institutions trying to do research on blockchain. So it's just all we do is research, nothing else. It's non-profit organization. We want to make sure that the research is neutral as possible, so no influence, nothing. We want to go deep and find out what the blockchain is, all the bits and pieces of blockchain. We just construct neutral and stable and sustainable research in the blockchain technology. We don't have any central point. It's just about universities all over the world coming together, putting ideas together, going for competitions and see how best we can connect the blockchain to the real life situations. So we are just test beds. We test scenarios. We test scenarios on how blockchain is scalable and all these things. We want to go deep, and at the end of the day, we come out with papers to prove that the technology is good or bad, to see which part of the technology that we will have to work on. BCF is reliable, and blockchain is a neutral blockchain network for academic research. So if you are here, you are interested in academics, you want to do research in blockchain technology, you come, you join the team, and we move on. All we do is research, evaluation, and we do competitions to make sure that we test the technology well. Each university becomes a node of the network. So if you join, you become a node. It means that everything that we do, the same with the blockchain technology, you have your node, you run it, you do the testing, everything. The university operates on a blockchain network. The university can deploy software to conduct experiments and evaluation. Because if my university is doing a research, it means I have access to all the other universities, their nodes to what to play with it and see how my research can go on. Yes, universities and individual researchers are all welcome. Each participant must eventually operate a node. That is it. Once you join, you have to operate a node and make sure it works. Because of neutrality, it is what critical value of BCA. Private companies can join research over BCA through their universities. As much as possible, we want it to be a research, not for private things. That is all. So for now, we have universities all over the world. We have from North and South America. We have universities from Asia. We have Europe and Africa. For now, we have the University of Cape Coast. That is part of the network. Yeah, so these are the co-founders. I think we heard from Pillar this morning. And they are also championing this conference as well, making sure things are good. Thank you very much. So if you want to join this is the website, you can just go there.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah. One question.
Let me just start from the first one. I did make some few notes here and there. Okay, good. Yeah. Now, this is the e-campus, and I had a lot of interest in the work because it was quite practical, and that's the way to go. But I want you to elaborate some more because the concept of blockchain and database is sometimes debated because the size of things you can put in a block, as you know, is small. So folks like Ike and Co, they see it more as a protocol for agreeing on what is on the blockchain. Does that strike you as a reasonable approach, or you want to go with it?
I am not too worried about, let's say, in my environment, for example, let me focus exactly on what we do at eCampus. In our environment, the kind of data we need to store are small. Storing credentials, points in, right, are very small. So today, we don't have a problem with how small the space in a chain, in a block within a chain is to store my information, right? But if I get to a place where I have to start storing videos, then I'll get a bit worried. I need to find a way to hack that blockchain technology to be able to store my videos for me. But for now, in what I am doing, What we are trying to implement is store credentials, store evidence of you spent 3 hours on this content. You took this test and you got 2 out of 20. Store that over a long period of time. And it's trusted so that if I come back 20 years from now to verify and challenge your PhD, to challenge your doctorate, it is still there for everybody to know so that there will be no contention. So if we get to a point where there must be video evidence of you sitting in class every day before your PhD is relevant, we'll cross that bridge probably.
Okay.
For now, it serves as a database purpose. And that's what I want to teach those 2-year-old kids so they don't get scared. So that when they grow up knowing that if I want to build anything in this world, my preferred choice of database is a blockchain. It's not only when I want to do things before I should think of what blockchain. No, it shouldn't be like that. Even if they are just in a group of 3 and they decide that they want to create an application to store their names and their nicknames, the first thing that should come to their mind shouldn't be SQL, should be a blockchain. And if we achieve that, then we're getting somewhere. And that's what I want to achieve.
Okay, thank you. Okay, notice that I've tried to let him agree that you will use all of them. I want him to agree that we will use all of them, and some of them are for different purposes than for the others. And so that's very good. Let's try my colleague here. I think this is the SPX and the other products. Now, you did observe that there was a kind of a barrier of having to get people interested and preparing them to really be able to participate. So the question is, what can we do to accelerate that process for you, perhaps in the next hackathon or other things that you may want to do?
Thank you, bro. So I think I'm going to piggyback on what Cecil was saying, that people have to start understanding the simplified versions of or simplified perspectives of blockchain and then the other ways in which you can apply it, right? So, I was saying earlier that we started approaching people who know how to build databases, who can code in MySQL and all that, and it started making sense to them, and they started becoming less scared, if you will, more confident. And so it was clear that a lot of people were associating it with cryptocurrency, and even though they had we're talking about developers, even though they had the knowledge and the skills, they had a completely different perspective of blockchain and what it can do. And so I think, pounding the pavement, that's making a lot more noise about not only in this crypto application, but also in other applications. The other things it can do. We were looking at agriculture. There are so many other areas that you can sort of explore application. It's interesting because Cecil was one of our core facilitators, and he will come and break it down, and everybody will, you see their jaws drop. Everybody will just be staring at him, right? As if we can get a lot more Cecils going out and talking about what it's as simple as this, it's as simple as that. Then we get people in, and then they start tackling the more complex areas.
Okay, thank you. But there's one more. Yes, one more so far. I noticed that you were able to narrow down onto a number of interesting projects. How are we able to get the projects to market?
That part that's the hard part. Because because what we found was that the teams that were working on these were not, they were thinking as developers, not as entrepreneurs, right? So they didn't have any goals or ambitions to start a business on whatever they were working on, except for the KIC team that really wanted to implement this technology in agriculture because of the program they're in. So I think if we can get more companies interested in engaging developers to develop these applications, to not to change what they do, but to explore new areas of building trust in systems or of doing payment. Can we get MTN
support a few developers to figure out how to do blockchain on interoperability or something. I just made that one up, but there might be opportunities there, and so maybe somebody has to nudge, a few companies to take this step, and I think we'll start seeing commercial application beyond just doing coding and hacking.
Okay, very good, thank you. Actually, I want to give you visibility with this program so that you can advance to the next stage of actually having products.
Thank you so much. So please talk to me after this.
Very good. Okay, you said Tonye, is that it? Tonye. Toyib. Sorry. This was very interesting for me, and I think you have a good solution and you are in many good locations, which is very nice. On the other hand, from where financial system hacks, they will ask you questions which you need to think through. One of them is that by using third-party payouts, you are bypassing the transmitter license. Because if I'm to do money transfer, I need to get license. But by using third-party payout, I'm bypassing license. How does that react? How do you react to that?
So one of the things we do mostly which is what we think is very important, as I mentioned earlier, is our KYC. We don't just do KYC on people who are making payouts through us. We also do it on our third parties. However, the interesting thing is, for now, even if we talk to the regulators, fortunately, or I would say unfortunately, right now, we do not have any form of regulatory guideline for firms like us who leverage on blockchain technology or who leverage on cryptocurrencies to make payouts. There is really nothing that should really guide our operations. I mean, I know Ghana is working on something. I mean, the federal government in Nigeria is also working on something. So what we try to do on our own end is spending the time when these countries are able to come up with something to determine how we should operate. We have decided to hold our standards up to that of the existing financial institutions like the banks, which is why if you're making payments, which is why we have bank accounts with almost all banks. In Ghana, we have about 5 bank accounts with different banks, and we're still opening accounts with more banks in Ghana. In Nigeria, we have accounts with almost all the banks in Nigeria. So your money comes to the bank, and the payout is eventually also done from another bank account. So we still try to hold ourselves, and our KYC, we try to an extent, I mean, I can boldly say we hold it higher than what the banks will expect, because we think when the regulators will come, they will most likely ask for something either at par with the banks or a bit higher. So we're setting ourselves at that standard for now, which is why in countries like Nigeria, we sit on a couple of committees that the central bank has set up to explore ways of preparing guidelines for companies like us, and they're able to take cues from how we operate to help develop these things. And we also recently got accepted into the sandbox regulatory process in Abu Dhabi. So we are one of the 12 companies that were accepted. They're also going to use us in the sandbox experiment to see how that can work too.
Well, thank you. It's just that be cautious, because I'm sure it's not just KYC that's important in appointing transmitter company. So to match that is not necessarily the same as KYC. And the fact that you are indeed transmitting, but you are not showing it yourself, passing to a third party who drops it, can give some challenges. So that
Can I add something to it?
Sure.
Yes. So which is why I said when we started, we used to make payouts through third parties, but now our goal has started being achieved. We're building and developing infrastructures in all these countries. So like I said, we now have bank accounts in Ghana, we have in Nigeria, we also now have in Abu Dhabi and South Africa and all these countries. So we're developing to the point where we ourselves will make these payouts from our own bank accounts rather than through third parties in some of these countries. So in countries where, of course, we don't have operations, then we will use the third parties.
Thank you very much. I see you've been training quite a bit of people. How many have you totally trained, and how do you assess the impact? I just want some general idea. I saw the pictures, I counted the people. I want you to give me a sense of what's going on here.
Okay, so not using the pictures as evidence, we've trained more than 120 people in our 6 academic sessions. Also, we give them feedback forms, and based on the feedback, we introduce the Ethereum technology and smart contracts. So we evaluate the feedback forms and then add to topics and then
Thanks. Keep going. The thing is, today we are focusing on 2 of them, right? But between you and I, we know that there are a few more. I mean, I don't mean tokens, I mean platforms. That you have Hyperledger, and then you have layer 2 guys who are trying to totally bypass the blockchain. So, what are your thoughts? What, it's mentioned creating new topics and things. So, if you can just say a few words, then I can move it.
okay, these are also topics we are looking at, and we are looking at adding them to our curriculum. But we're also looking at the market. If there's a market for it, then we can add them because we don't want to create a situation where we are teaching things that people don't have interest in. So that's the key point that I can want to add.
Thank you. Yeah, Mr. University. I noticed that your interest is principally contributing to the development of blockchain technology globally. Is that get it right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, how do the universities work together? I mean, I'm sure every university has several people working. So between you and Keele University and Cambridge or what's going on?
So what happens is that we have monthly meetings. There's a monthly call for meetings, and the meeting we do discussions. We talk about the technologies. Then we discuss the competition that need to be provided. We discuss the progress. We give reports. So each university, what you are doing, we give reports every month on what you are doing.
So when you mention node, I get confused. When I think of node, I'm thinking of blockchain mining node. So can you explain your node for me? Because it sounds like your node is more like a research group.
Yes. So yes, similar to the blockchain node, we run side by side. The blockchain node is there. Then we have our own node as well. Similar to this right.
So you're taking a fork. You're taking a fork of the blockchain. I want to encourage you to ask each other questions. So who would like to start? No, it's not. I want to build unity here. No, not yet, though. I beg you. I'm dealing with the folks here so that I want them to bond a bit.
So a question for the HSC guys.
Yes.
So how can they involve the other universities? Like they are in Accra, I didn't hear of any of the Accra universities. I have K University, so I don't know why the universities in Accra others are going on.
Yeah, so that's a really good question. I said earlier, we engaged Kumasi Hype because they also run a creativity group program, if you will, on all the university campuses. So we actually even tried to get students from University of Cape Coast. I would say KMUST students were the only brave ones, if you will. They were the only brave ones that tried to engage. It taught us a lot of things, right? About how to find the most interested people, and I'll let Cecil also, because it was also part of it. It taught us a lot of things because almost all of our assumptions, were flawed. So for round 2, definitely we will definitely try to actively try to recruit from different universities. But if you want to add something to that.
So I think before the hackathon, I never heard of events like this. I think we were done with the hackathon before the first one. Around the same time. So this is the second one. even with our own blockchain society, we are here to do any major events. So we put it out there and we said there's a blockchain hackathon. I think first they got excited because they had hackathon. So they thought, okay, this one will do that. Then they come closer and they go like, okay, this is something quite different. And we went all hardcore, the like, details. So we were like, if they read the first page of the website, they go deeper bits, and you realize it's not working. So we wasted almost 2 months. We're not getting anybody. We're practically getting people. So we changed our approach and we said, okay, you know what? Can you code in Java? Can you write JavaScript? C Sharp, C++. But you can do the blockchain. It's just simple as that. I go like, oh yeah, I can do that. Okay, then apply. Then now they started applying. And truly, I walk them through step by step. We use JavaScript and we build our chains. So the thing is simple like that, and we're talking plenty like that. So we need to. That's why I'm more concerned about that angle. Let's talk English. Let's speak English in this case. Stop this. Stop scaring them away. Back in school, the teacher wants to feel like he's so smart, so he makes the simple things look complex. Being too complicated doesn't make you an expert in anything. I don't see why people try to make this complex. Right? Make it simple so that they can embrace it. Trust me, they are more creative than you are. And they can use that to create more awesome things than you think you can ever do. So why make it complicated? So I think that is our problem. If we can go out there and explain these things, make it as simple as you writing an HTML file, trust me, you'll be amazed what this kids can build. So this is where I think the problem is. And it's not appealing to people. People come around blockchain because of cryptocurrencies. And people are to some people, blockchain is cryptocurrency is blockchain. And they're like, oh boy, it's not like that. There are two different things. One relies on the other to exist. That doesn't make them the same. So let's be more practical, simple about the technologies. Not even blockchain alone. There's a whole lot of technology. So that it doesn't scare the people, the very people we need them to embrace it and drive it. I can use myself as a very practical example. When the open source wave started back in 2001, the Linux, the Unix, it was so simple. So that's what made some of us who we are today, which we got in the whole Ubuntu drive, the software freedom day, we were just coding things left and right, copy, paste, crash things. And today we're able to build sustainable things. Why are we making blockchain so complicated that the kids don't even want to come around it? So please. This was complex enough. Maybe more complex than blockchain, but we made it fun. So why all these plenty things? So please go out there, let them know it's as simple as writing an HTML code, and I can prove that. Then we go forward. Thank you. I have a question. Sure.
Blockchain Academy then. Because we run hackathons, you teach blockchain. How can we collaborate? There we go. For the next one.
Featuring.
Practical steps.
Okay, we are open to collaboration. Currently, we have, as I said, we have an outreach program to educational institutions, the first being Central University. So we're open for collaboration. After the session, we can talk.
I have something for yeah, it's right.
I think it's
still working.
bit better, right? So, quite interesting what you're trying to do or what you're doing, right? So I can practically in my space, like in Ghana, the one I use what I use very much, which is close to what you're doing, is Chris 2, what do you Express Pay, right? Have you tried Express Pay before? Yeah, so Express Pay is like a lifeline for some of us here. I can practically move money from my bank account to another person's bank account to money on my bank account even more. But it makes life so fun, and I'm getting within Ghana, and I'm so addicted to it. And they have APIs can plug into your apps and all of that. Right. So from what you're saying, you're heading towards that with cryptos. Right? You're heading towards something like cryptos where I can have a real like a fiat money account and a crypto money account, and I can use your app and move things in between just like that. That would be awesome, right? But my challenge here is I would like to know how flexible are your APIs for future integrations? Because if you can make that very successful, then there will be no need for anybody to go around trying reinventing the wheel. If you have plans to make API plugins very simple, so that future applications that will be built right on the block, who may need payment things or who may need trading or something, can just easily integrate with you, so that it takes that whole burden off the developer. Most dreams get killed because when you start, you will have to do a payment system, and have to do infrastructure system. Then the guy gives up. So, do you have plans like that? Because I have two jobs.
Okay, thank you very much. I think the first thing is we already have people in this hall who have integrated into our API. Exactly. So some of them are attending this program here. As much as so we have a functional API, and if the integrating party has a standing development team, I mean, it shouldn't take more than 3 weeks for the integration process to be completed. And even if they do not have, we've seen instances where we offer to help them, you understand, complete the integration. So the only thing they just need to find is someone to help them with the maintenance of the platform or however they want to do it. So yes, we have that, but the only thing is we're always very careful of who we give our APIs to, you understand, because it's payments and you need to be very careful of how you deal that with people. So we do have something like that.
Okay, so put your hands together for the panel. It's been really enlightening. Thank you.
Firstly, you will not have to come to my office to give me cash. You will be able to make that payment. If you go on the platform and say you have Ghanaian cedis and you want to pay out Nigerian naira, after you input all the necessary details, including the account number of the person, the beneficiary in Nigeria, Big Pesa is integrated into the Nigerian interbank settlement system, which means we can make payouts into all the bank accounts in Nigeria. So your payments, once you do that, immediately your payment has been confirmed. Either you make it through mobile money, or I mean, I expect that kind of volume might not be able to do through mobile money. I'm just guessing. So
100,000 is a lot of money.
Yeah. So if you can't, then that means you'll be given a prompt where you be providing the account details where to make the payment to. Once that has been confirmed, your payment will be logged on the back end, and we don't need to issue your beneficiary in Nigeria a check. He gets the payout automatically. I mean, this payout I'm talking about is something that can happen within 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how swift it happens. So if we tell you make payments into our bank account, we give you a reference code. If the reference code is correct, we don't even need to log it on our back end. It matches automatically and payout happens. But if it's not, then you need to now send us the evidence, then we now need to log it in at the back end and all. So that's one end of it. So it's very possible. These things can happen within 20 to 30 minute stops if it's fast. The second part is we ask you for if you're making payments below $5,000 based on the already existing laws in Nigeria, using Nigeria as a case example here, we do not necessarily need to ask you for any proof of any reason for payments document, because I mean I could want to send $300, $200. These are money that can be used for personal day-to-day dealings. But if you want to send above $5,000 worth of local currency, then we need you to provide additional documentations. As a company, all you need to do is just provide your reason for payment, which we will verify. Then as an individual, you need to fill your source of funds form. We need to do a couple of other things too, just for our compliance team to check and make sure everything is right. So we have the right systems in place to make sure we do our verification in order to prevent people from using our platform and money laundering tools. I hope that answers the question.
All right, thank you. Hope you're cool.
Yes, but
do they have the mandate to request for the cost of transfer if they are not regulated? What are the basis for them requesting those to you?
Yes, maybe self-regulation. But let me ask you.
No, yes. So like I said, it's just, let me use a typical example here. If you're operating a BDC in Nigeria now,
what is a BDC, sir?
A bureau de change in Nigeria. If you're operating a bureau de change in Nigeria now, there are money exchange there, and we have them all around in Ghana too. The banks that these BDCs operate with have specific requirements which they need these BDCs to fulfill. If they do not fulfill these requirements, then the banks will be subject to the the CBN. That why did you not allow this person? Why are you allowing this person to do this and this? So we, like I said, there's no regulation for us now, but we have put ourselves in that position where we hold ourselves up to the standards that the banks hold themselves up to, because we expect that when the regulatory body comes up with something, which they will, it's just a matter of when. So we expect that when they do it, it should, a banking license is the highest form of license you can give in any country's financial institution. So we expect that if they will give something, it should at least not go beyond the kind of policies that they've set for banks, which we think we will be safe with. And if it goes beyond it, we will adjust ourselves to also match up to that standard. So we've already set ourselves at that place as it stands. Thank you.
Thank you too. Question at the back. Yes, sir.
They said they will go to the various special institution to do education. They want to find out if they will consider a senior high school also. But if I believe if they get education, they will also go down to the junior high school. Then if you go to the primary school, then the on.
We are all blockchain. So senior high school. No, it's just a question. You just want ideas. Okay, good.
Yeah, I think at this point we should move away from personalizing our thinking. Just taking life as usual. How do you begin to go lower in the hierarchy from researchers to researchers? Yeah. And that's a good statement to make. But I think we've done enough of the engagement. Now we should begin to look forward to see where can we go? What could we do to make things better for everyone?
Like stepping into the future. Yeah. What can we do to make things better? It's blockchain for development, remember. Any more contributions? I know you've had a long day and you're tired, but it's been good. I've learned a lot. And then he'll make a couple of closing remarks and we'll call it good.
Well, I think we should congratulate ourselves. I mean, that's it. And you saw the kids who were working in the same area. We don't even know who were working in the same area. So it's good sometimes to take this soft touch approach so that we can laugh together, play together, and bond. Okay, so everybody bonds on who they want to bond with and in what subject in what area. That's extremely important. So I'm very happy about that. I also am quite pleased not only with the participation, but the interest. You know, it's been active, okay, and I think that's how these things are done. Why am I saying this? This kind of technical knowledge is not kept in books.
Like we're going to do this again, or I think that was the question. We're very open to to doing this again, to trying the hackathon again, but we are low on bandwidth. So if you're here and that's your thing, and you want to come, let's talk, and you're ready. Yeah, you're ready to. It's not just the few seats, but also the legwork, right? If you're ready and you want to see happen, then definitely let's talk before you leave.
All right. Well, if you like old programmers like me, come and see me too. There you go. All right. I think my bit is done. I hand over to you, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let's give Professor Adina Kukweno, the convener of the blockchain, big hand. And that brings us to the end of our engagement here. This event was sponsored by Bank of Ghana, GDC, Mobile Web Ghana, Blockchain Network, and Veritas. We want to thank all of you for all your contributions to making this happen, and we wish you the very best. We pray that next year, by this time, we're doing Blockchain Conference 19, and that would be great. Wish you the best. Safe journey home to wherever you're going, or wherever you're going, if you're not going home. My name is Kafui Dave. It's a pleasure to have been your moderator / the Master of Ceremonies. Happy to have been working with Professor Bueno and Bernard Avler, who was here earlier in the morning. Thanks to all our speakers and the audience, the management of Julie, and everybody who put this to make it happen. Our crew, sound, lights, everybody was fantastic. And I'm glad that I was part of this event. God bless all of you. God will be meeting you some other time. Thank you. Tell now all that's great music. Yeah, thank you. That's the music. That's the music.